Hello students. So in the previous class we were discussing what are the other factors on which the resistance of a material depend. So we know that R is equal to rho L by A, where L is the length of the material, A is the area of cross section, rho is the resistivity, that is it depends on the nature of material. So resistance is directly proportional to length. If you increase the length of any material, the resistance increases. Resistance is inversely proportional to area of cross section. So when you increase the area of cross section, then the resistance decreases. So rho, which depends on nature of material. So with this, we will be solving the problems. So these are there in your textbooks. So I will be solving the example problem. I'll just read out the problem and I'll explain only about how the value is obtained. A current of 0.5 ampere is drawn by a filament of an electric bulb for 10 minutes. Find the amount of electric charge that flows through the circuit. So what they have given is current. So first write down the values that they have given. Current I, that is 0.5 ampere. Next, time. (10 minutes). So they are asking what is the charge. So you know that current and time. So the relation, that is I is equal to Q by T. So you need to find what is the charge. So Q is equal to IT. So you know the current, that is 0.5. The time, here it is in minutes. So convert this into seconds. So except few cases which you will be learning in future classes, that is in power or electric power. So there you will be using kilowatt hour. So except that, so in most of the other, in all other problems, so try to convert if they are given in minutes to seconds or hours to seconds. So this is 10 minutes. So this will be 600 seconds. So time is 600. So 0.5 into 600, that is 300. So the unit of charge is coulomb. So it is 300 coulomb. So 0.5, for simplification you can write 0.5 as 1 by 2 because the calculation will become easy. So I can write as a 0.5, do the long division like 600 into 0.5, or instead of writing 0.5 you can directly write it as 1 by 2. So 2, 300, so it will be 300 coulomb. So whichever is convenient. Next, how much work is done in moving a charge of 2 coulomb? The charge that they have given is 2 coulomb across 2 points having potential difference 12 volt. So what they mean is how much work is done in moving charge of 2 coulomb. So they have given the charge. Q, that is 2 coulomb. They have also given potential difference. So you need to write this. So you can't just write V, that is 12 volt, or Q is equal to 2 coulomb. So you have to write Q represents charge, potential difference is V, so 12 volt. So they are asking how much work is done, that is W. So we know that with any relation, that is V is equal to W by Q. You have to find what is this W. So you know V, you know Q. So W is equal to V Q. V, that is 12, Q is 2. 24 joule. The unit of work is joule. So it is 24 joule. So these are the equations that is there in the textbook. So you have to be perfect with whatever the equation is there in the textbook. So you don't worry about some other things that is outside the textbook. So be perfect, because they can ask anyhow, like they don't give directly as work. They might give you some other things which you maybe which is related in some other way. But you should be knowing how to get this W and later equate this in this equation. So I'll be solving even that problem in some other classes, but now just try to focus on the equations that are there in the textbook. So you have to be perfect with that. Next. How much current will an electric bulb draw from a 220 volt source if the resistance of the bulb filament is 1200 ohm? So they are asking how much current will an electric bulb draw from a 220 volt source. So we know that potential difference, I just write it as PD, that is 220 volt. I'll write potential difference because you need to write it completely. Potential difference is 220 volt. If the resistance of the bulb filament is 1200 ohm, resistance R, that is 1200 ohm. So they are asking how much current. So you know what is V, you know what is R. With the help of the Ohm's law, that is V is equal to IR. So you have to find current. So send R to the other side. So I is equal to V by R. So when you calculate or when you substitute the values, V, that is 220, R 1200. So when you do the calculation, you get the value of 0.18. The unit of current, that is ampere. So A. So you just don't write it as 0.18 A. So write the current that is flowing through the circuit is 0.18 ampere. So write a sentence at the end. So just don't leave this. Well, this is correct, this is not wrong, but try to be expressive. So try to express your answer. Next. How much current will an electric heater coil draw from a 220 volt source? It's a continuation of the same question. Part B. How much current will an electric heater coil draw from a 220 volt source if the resistance of the heater coil is 100 ohm? So here in this case, the potential difference is same or the voltage is same, 220 volt, but the resistor of the heater is 100 ohm. So instead of 1200, this is 100. So I am just changing the value. The equation remains the same. V is equal to IR. I need to find current. So I is equal to V by R. So V 220, R 100. So it is 2.2 ampere. So there is not much of calculation here, but you need to know which equation to use. If you know the equation, then the calculation becomes easier. So you have to be perfect with the equations. Next, the potential difference between the terminals of an electric heater is 60 volt. The potential difference potential difference between the terminals of an electric heater is 60 volt. When it draws current 4 ampere from the source, what current will the heater draw if the potential difference is increased to 120 volt. So here it is drawing current of 4 ampere. When it draws a current 4 ampere from the source, what is the current the heater draw if the potential difference is increased to 120 volt? So there is a heater. When the potential difference is 60 volt, so consider this as a heater. When the potential difference is 60 volt, the current that is flowing is 4 ampere. So what they are asking is, how much current does it draw if the potential difference is increased to 120 volt? So there are two potential differences. So let's consider this as V1. So this is I1, because the current is will also be changing. So next, so V2, they'll increase it to 120 volt. We need to find I2, what will be the current. So since this is a heater, the resistance in this heater will not change. As I told you earlier, whatever the resistance that they have used or that they have inserted, it remains the same. So they don't change every time. So if you change the potential difference, the resistance they will not change. So it will be the same. So this heater they are not changing, they are keeping this same. So it means that the resistance here will remain the same. So in the first situation, find out what is the resistance. So even in the second situation also, the resistance remains the same, it does not change. So here, using this value, find out what is resistance. So using the Ohm's law, V is equal to IR, so you can find R. So R is equal to V by I. So it is V1 by I1. So what is V1? It is 60, I1 4. So it is 15 ohm. So the resistance of this heater is 15 ohm, which will not change. Even in the second situation also, they are using the same heater. So the resistance remains the same. So you can use this R to find out I2. So I2 is equal to V2 by R. So when you are writing this values or expression, you have to be very careful, because here you have used R, not R1. So you have to write the same R here. Since you have used R1, you can't write R2. So this will be wrong, because nowhere you have mentioned R2. So this should also be R. So you know what is V2? V2 is 120. R 15 that you have got. So 120 by 15 is 8. So it is 8 ampere. So when the potential difference is increased to 120 volt, the current will be 8 ampere. So you know from the Ohm's law that V is directly proportional to I. So if it is doubled, this will also double, provided the material will not change. So it remains the same. So when the potential difference is doubled, current is doubled. When the potential difference is tripled, even the current increases by 3 times. So when the potential difference is increased 10 times, current also increases 10 times, provided the resistance remains the same. So here resistance is same. So potential difference is doubled. From 60 it is 120. So it is doubled. So current will also double. Here it is 4, here it should be 8. So you are getting 8 ampere. So in the next class, I will be solving some more problems related to potential difference current which are not there in your textbook. So it is out of your textbook. So I will be solving some more problems related to electricity. So till then, thank you. Have a great day.